I'm wait, give me a second, actually.
This guy.
Oh, I was already recording, and now Danny's just fucking
It's
up.
okay, let it keep going. Okay.
Wait, you putting
I'm
a
ready.
fucking transformer together? In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but mostly on YouTube with your hosts Comp and
Mommy.
as well as
Starburst.
her new book, How Do You Do? Can I Feel You With Goo? And 100 other pickup lines from the 1920s. Today's film is
Possessor 2020. The only good thing this year, maybe.
Possessor. Well, how about people fighting for equality? I guess we know who's the bigot in this group, huh? Possessor 2020.
Okay.
Possessor follows an agent who works for a secretive organization that uses brain implant technology to inhabit other people's bodies, ultimately driving them to commit assassinations for high-paying clients. Directed by Brandon Cronenberg. Written by Brandon Cronenberg. Starring... I'm going to get in trouble for that one day. I really am. Gabriel Graham.
You got my okay on it.
Why do they have these weird names at the... It's Andrea Riseborough, Daniel Park. Who's the guy? Who's the guy in this movie? What's his name?
Christopher Abbott.
Oh, Christopher Abbott. And a whole bunch of other people. Somebody else was really familiar. Jennifer Jason Leigh. That's who I recognize.
Which one is that?
She was the one. She was the co-conspirator.
She's like the mentor person.
Oh, okay.
There was some secret
I felt like she was in that movie Annihilation, but is it her or no?
Yeah,
she is, yeah.
Oh, okay, she has such like a annoyingly dry thing.
Oh, I thought it was the other lady from, forget it. Anyway, so why did we pick this film, Possessor? I'll tell you why.
Because it's a movie.
It's Brandon Cronenberg.
We watch movies in this show.
Brandon Cronenberg, son of Jeff Cronenberg? Is it?
David.
Yes.
I know, David. David Cronenberg.
Lawrence.
Who is a master of body horror and other sorts of weird cinema. Brandon Cronenberg, we reviewed his film Antiviral a while back with great praise, I assume. Right, Danny? I think we both liked it.
I think we liked it. I liked it.
It's an incredibly weird film, and it lives on in this film as well.
It's very gross. This is much more of like a fast-paced sort of movie to me.
Although I think that other one is a much more fuller film than this one. Possessor still has its merits, depending on what my co-hosts agree on.
Am I hearing poop?
That's my train.
But,
are you pooping? Yeah.
So,
yes,
Thea,
I am.
Explain a little bit of Possessor.
So Possessor is, you sort of get thrown in pretty quick. You start with one of her, like, victims, I guess you call it. I don't really know how to say it. But you start with a woman who's going into a party. She seems sort of out of it, or, like, very off to begin with. And then she kills sort of, like, one of the main proprietors of this party. And then is going to kill herself, but then instead gets killed by the cops when she sort of turns her gun on them. And then when she gets pulled out, you realize that it's somebody who's been inhabiting her body, using her as an assassin, essentially.
Yeah, so...
the timing of the cops killing her was a little relevant. I actually had that thought, but, you know.
This had been
especially because it's a woman of color.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. This had been one of my...
No, that's exactly the point I'm making, except in this case, she was a murderer and not, like, just, walking or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. I don't see in colors when I found it was cool.
Okay.
Shut the fuck
Anyway,
up.
so this film, it's been one of my most anticipated films to see because I was such a fan of Antiviral. And then...
is this his second movie?
This is his second movie, yes. The first still that was of the film was the one where the guy puts on the mask of Andrea Riseborough. Danny, did you recognize Andrea Riseborough, where she's from?
Which one is this? Oh, Mandy.
Mandy from Mandy, and she looks
incredibly young. At first I wasn't able to place it, but then I looked it up because I was just like, I know this face.
Yeah, throughout the whole film I was like that. So anyway, when I saw the film, I was very much excited to see it, and I liked the sort of lo-fi cyberpunk body horror aspect.
Were you slightly hard about the concept of seeing
that? That goes without saying, but the film itself, it's weird because the film itself, I don't know, it's because I'm not going out to look for positive films in this day and age. I'm not one of those people that's so affected by everything that I need to see something positive in a film.
Was it too depressing?
Yeah, in a way it was, because I was like, shit, I didn't give a shit about anybody in this film. Like, I didn't.
Well, she's a very unlikable character. She's an assassin.
So this is, I would say, it's a very effective following of an anti-hero, sort of antagonist film, because there is nothing redeeming about her character. There's nothing redeeming about...
Well, it's the same thing in Antiviral 2. That guy is a scumbag who's like a weirdo that wants people's viruses in his body. Like, that's...
Yeah, but
there's nothing likable.
I don't think he was outwardly trying to destroy people's lives and stuff. This film is like a weird mix of The Matrix and Inception at the same time, as well as sort of cramming in David Cronenberg's greatest hits. So, Thea, tell us a little bit more about the film and what its drives of characters. Like, what are they up to?
So, we've got the assassin herself, who's played by Andrea Riseborough.
Thea Voss is the character
Yes,
name.
Voss, they call her
usually. What a cool name.
Voss is a very cool name. And she is... We can tell that she's kind of losing touch.
Oh, my lord. Is that you pooping again?
I think Thea said something wrong. Did you hear that? Just like beep.
The universe is bleeping you.
All right, go ahead, dude.
She's kind of losing touch. They do this sort of recalibration at the end of the kill, which is to sort of go like, which of these items are yours? And she gets it correct, but you can tell that something is a little off. And then that behavior kind of continues. She's not living with her family, her husband and son, or ex-husband? Unclear.
Yeah, I think
no, they're married.
Separated.
She's just separated.
Really? Right. Because she's afraid that she'll get tracked down to them, which ends up being the case. And then
Spoilers.
she's with her mentor, Jennifer Jason Leigh, who is like the person who runs-ish the company, or at least runs her side of it, and gives her clients and tells her what she has to do.
Did you guys see Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Because
I love that
scene
movie.
where they were trying to recalibrate her. Was it recalibrate is when she's inside the body. When she's sort of coming back into her normal brain scan. It obviously reminded me of the scene of when Ryan Gosling's character was getting asked those questions. Maybe you know when he shows up after.
When he's getting the Hoyt Kempf test or whatever the fuck it's called.
It was like a new version of the test, right? It was like
I can't think what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. The
Dunning-Kruger test.
No, that's a people who think they're smart but they're not smart. Hold on.
Obviously, it's not us. But
no, it's definitely not me. I always know what I'm talking about.
Is it anything like the test in the first movie, like the original?
Yeah, it's like a new version.
In Blade Runner, the first one, they were like, if you saw a dog crossing the street, would you bark? Would you yell? This one, it was.
Like
I would yell at it.
There was some weird other tests. Anyway, but that shit confused me.
Voight Kampf test.
It confused me as much as the architect speech in The Matrix 2, but I guess it wasn't.
Oh god, that was so confusing. He's like, anyway, wherewithal, therefore.
I literally was in the theater looking left and right at the people next to me because I couldn't understand what was going on, and I felt like I'm sort of smart. Anyway, back to this film.
You're not.
Theo, Tice's family. What is her relationship with them?
She with her own family.
Yes.
She's not living with them, but she loves them, and her no doesn't. I can't tell. She kind of does.
This is what I feel. I feel that she is incapable of love, and she.
You're mansplaining right now.
I feel like she regretted having a child, and that she felt liberated at the end. That she didn't have to have this nagging feeling, because she is. I think the whole film, which I don't know if they was. I think I understood it, but I think that she was trying to balance having happiness to go to her family, but she couldn't, and she chose her job above her family because I think that's what she was more comfortable with killing people as opposed to taking care of her family. Because obviously, when Jennifer Jason Leigh possesses her kid and shoots her, we're led to think, the guy that she's been possessing is going to kill the kid out of self-preservation, but it's her pulling the trigger, making sure that the kid dies. It's like she was looking for something to, erase her past, because this gives this.
Well, is it though? Do we positive it's her pulling the trigger?
Yes, because it shows her pulling the trigger at the end. It shows her. It flashes to her Like, because if it's the guy, he obviously would have
Yeah.
shot. But when in certain sequences, it will cut to her to show that who's really in charge of shooting. Because at all this time, we're thinking, oh, maybe the guy's still in charge, but then she pops back in because she was lost in his sort of brain pattern, because she was sort of cocooned in his brain. But at the end, she broke through because he was obviously dying and more, concerned about like that big fucking gaping hole out of his throat that he lost consciousness, and she took over and shot the kid. So it essentially gave her the power to get rid of, what she probably felt was a nuisance in her life. That's how
I think nuisance is how we should call it.
I think that's also a treats for dogs or something. But that's what I took from it. I mean, I think that's probably the only sort of character development in the film that I think is. Well,
and then at the end, she definitely doesn't regret killing the butterfly.
I don't know. It's an interesting film, but I don't know.
She said that in the beginning.
I was too.
Right.
It is. Yeah, I got bummed out, and it's very I don't know if that's like a pussy thing to say.
It's definitely very depressing.
It is, but it's a bummer thing because, some asshole.
No,
guy
it's so bummer.
Half of his family,
yeah.
So he can take over a corporation and nothing. That's sort of even there's no justice in this film. You know what I mean? Because pretty okay people get killed, like the little kid, the dad who seemed like a nice guy.
And they deserved it. Though. They were an impediment on her.
They were keeping together a normal family.
They were keeping her from her job, and they deserved to die.
And then also this poor fiance. You know what I mean? Because I was almost thinking.
No, she seemed like an asshole, to be honest.
The fiance guy.
The guy's the daughter of Sean B. And this is the first time he hasn't died, ever.
He got pretty damn close.
I swore. Remember, I texted you, and then she, he's getting his eyes poked out and all this shit. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I knew this was happening, but then he survived. No one could survive that.
There was people have survived worse.
If you had, but come on, if you had a what was it, like an ice pick? It was like some kind of stick.
It was like
popping out his teeth and his eyes and shit.
Danny, there's a story that you should hear about from Japan. Thea, never look this up.
Oh god.
Oh god.
I don't want to look it up. Come on.
It's called The Girl in the Cement Concrete Case.
I don't want to know about it. Oh, I don't want to know about it.
It's easily the worst, one of the worst things I've ever heard that a person survived on for so long.
Oh god.
But anyway, so people can survive pretty horrible things. Maybe it's the will of the human mind or whatever it is. But I believe Sean.
But so she didn't even accomplish her goal, though.
Huh?
She didn't even accomplish her actual goal.
But I mean, I'm sure the power was passed on to whoever the asshole is. That's the Inception angle. They're essentially going into people's minds and taking over. It's like corporate espionage or whatever.
See, why can't... This is an idea. Why... This defeats the whole purpose of the movie. Why can't they just go into the mind of the person they want to kill and make them kill themselves?
Do the paperwork. No. Why don't they just change the paperwork, right?
Or whatever,
That's right, kill themselves. You're right. See, now you're making sense, Dan.
Now we're cooking.
I just ruined this whole...
Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
And how do they get into them? Because I thought maybe they had to kidnap the person.
They make them into human USBs, essentially.
Yeah.
No, but how? They
kidnapped the guy
through Wi-Fi.
Right, but how did they get how did they get the child at the end?
Wait, what? Oh, I don't know.
They did it while she wasn't there, I guess. I don't know what. I'm sure they did that without her consent, without tasting.
Oh, do you think they planned? Do you think they planned for this kind of thing?
I think generally, I'm pulling a Thea and thinking that there's some sort of angle where Jennifer Jason Leigh might have either seen greatness in her or fancied her in a way. That she knew that her home life was interfering with.
What are these noises?
It's called reality.
It just sounded like a dinosaur growling.
If you think I'm going to record with this window closed and fucking 86 degrees,
yeah, it's not happening.
That's a phantom joke you're telling. I don't even know what phantom joke is.
I like it though.
But,
I like it. It's a joke that's not
a
real.
Ghost joke.
So I don't know, Thea. What did you think about the characters in this film?
Well, it's interesting that I struggled to find the character arc a little bit. I understood that she...
I'm just pulling that out of
nowhere. No, I don't think you are. I think that makes sense. That interpretation completely makes sense. The thing that I wasn't getting from her was that we didn't see her before she sort of degraded. So, right. I didn't feel like I got context of, really what she was like with her family before. Like, whether it was always like this. I guess we're supposed to assume it was always like this weird.
I think, but the weird thing
She's
is
like
I
a
think-
sociopath or
Yeah.
something.
I
Like,
think the
she's
thing
like,
is that we're I think just by the casting alone, because
Right.
Andrea, in certain looks, because she had the bleached out eyebrows and everything, she looks very haunted. She looks like
Yes.
she has these big sort of doe eyes, but like she looks haunted. She looks like she's lived 1,000 years already. Do you know what
Yes.
I mean? And
Yeah.
I think the casting is like 90% of the character in this film,
Yeah.
because like in Mandy, she looks like rough and ridden. You know what I mean? So
I'm looking at her like as an actress, and she was like nothing looking like what
she's
she looks
quite
like.
pretty.
in
Yeah,
the
it was funny because when Thea talked about it, and when we talked about Mandy, I never knew who she was, and then she said she's really hot, and I was like, really? I was like, well, that's a sexist claim, Thea. But anyway, I'll trust your words.
She was in Birdman,
and she is
too.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I should check it out. But it was interesting. I saw some other film with her, and I was like, oh shit, that's that lady. She's quite.
I don't know why you think that her looks are dependent on anything else about her. Why do you have to objectify her in this
I'm
way?
talking about the.
Did I say she was hot?
I think you did.
I don't
I'm pretty
think I
sure you said
did.
that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm. Trying to
I
make
feel like you're
excuse for me or
projecting.
Danny's. I think maybe me or Danny said that. I saw her in Death of Stalin, and she was very good in that. She plays like this sort of hysterical woman in it.
She was
Hysterical
also
woman.
in
Uh-oh.
Waco.
No,
She was in Waco.
I've never heard of a woman being hysterical in my life, and I would never say such a thing.
So anyway.
Anyway.
That's where the hysterectomy phrase came from, people. Just so you know.
Is that true?
Very. What else do you fucking think? Of course it is. It was a man-made thing. They call it hysterectomy because they think women were hysterical.
Hysterical.
So they used to do that shit on them all the time. Now you know that.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
Now you can tell
Well,
that.
now
to
I
your
learned.
friends
Now I've
from
learned. Thank you.
But anyway,
She's in a lot of movies that just are someone's name: Nancy, Mandy, Louis Wayne.
So, what did you guys think of the gore in this film?
Oh, it was great.
It was good. It was a lot. But
He's-
it was good.
Brandon Cronenberg's gore is as good as David Cronenberg's gore, because he obviously must
Yeah.
have studied his work. Because the gore in their films, aside from Videodrome, which is like over the top kind of gore, when that guy turns into a fucking pile of
He's
like,
pulling
and
guns out of his
Existence is the
chest and
same.
shit.
Too.
right. But this is history of violence style gore, where it's like
Oh man, when
realistic, where
he's
it's-
when he's popping the teeth out of
Oh,
his mouth, it's like, oh, it's
God.
so good. And I was eating food, and then when it
No.
went for the eye, like it really was like, oh no, like I could barely watch it. It was so bad.
because the violence in these films are subtle, but they're realistic. So it's not like Takashi Miike or Quentin Tarantino, where you like blood will jet out 20 feet. I mean, it will jet out in some aspects, but it's like realistic looking violence, and that's really fucking gross.
Yeah.
It's like super nasty violence, like when Sean Bean gets hit over the head with that fucking. What he gets hit over the head with?
I feel like he would have permanent
I think
damage.
it was a
or
fire
something.
poker.
I think Danny. I don't think he wasn't standing up dancing. So yes, I think he was fucked up in that chair. Like
Yeah, but he looked like not brain damaged, you know.
I think he was. I think he was fucked up. He had like one eye popped out and all that stuff.
This poor guy, he can never not be either killed or brutalized in every movie.
He just
Here's a good
got
movie
one of
you
those
guys should
faces.
watch. But he's cool though. But he's in a great movie called Clean Skin. It's sort of one of those UK not spy, but like M16 sort of films. And I don't know if that's
Okay.
not even your type of film. It's just so fucking good. It's about like
The
fighting.
first thing I ever saw him in was GoldenEye.
Yeah, right. He's like, for England, James. There you go, that kind of stuff.
That's the only James Bond movie I've ever seen.
It's a good movie. Well, Casino Royale.
Because of the video game. That's really I just love the video
guy,
game.
it's funny because the guy who directed that one, GoldenEye, directed Casino Royale. Two completely different types of James Bond films, both excellent. But that guy doesn't get the same.
Look at you.
Martin Campbell, very good director.
I never would have guessed.
I've never seen a full
Go see-
James Bond movie.
I don't blame you because they're pretty bad, except for Casino Royale. That's a good one.
No,
Go see
GoldenEye is
Casino.
good.
No, GoldenEye's fun.
good.
Like,
Here we go.
It's the first movie based on a video game. That's great. Anyway, besides Mortal Kombat. Anyway,
Mortal Kombat is
so-
the best.
That is good. This film, Danny, what were your feelings on, how it went, how, the violence and where the plot went? Did you feel like it was naturally progressive storyline, or do you think that it was
It could have been like shorter. It could have been like shorter because I felt like there was like some like kind of slower points in the middle, but like No, this is better than Antiviral to me. Like, I
Dude,
definitely
yeah?
liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the
much
thought-
more like sci-fi. Like, Antiviral is much more like this gross psychological, like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's so, like, sickly and nasty and
I
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
but that guy did the good job. But that actor from Antiviral is like really like.
That's the same guy from Get Out. Yeah, he's
He
like...
looks like salt water.
He freaks
Like,
me out.
He looks like salt.
I don't know if
water.
I don't know if I
there's
can
something
watch
about
it.
No, it's good. No, well, you know,
It is good. It's just like,
it's
it's very like... It's like the feeling of like nausea, like
Yeah.
the whole movie.
His face
Yeah,
Like
is
that's
yeah.
what the movie is.
But that actor, what is that actor's name? Let me find that guy. Antiviral.
It's like a weird name.
Feels like
from what I
pedo
remember,
stash,
too.
but I could be wrong.
Caleb Landry Jones.
Sure.
Yeah,
he's
he's
so
like
funny.
good at being like a really creepy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his whole thing.
It's he was in what is it? Well, obviously
Get
he was
Out.
in Twin Peaks and all that stuff. There's an interview on YouTube with him like in a morning show, and he's wearing
Oh,
shades,
yeah.
and he's obviously high on something. You can't tell. Because you would think, you hope that it was just weed he's on, but it looks like there's something else going on.
It's
But,
not, probably.
He's a very good actor. But anyway, so with this, Danny, what did you know? You didn't like the shift of it? You thought it could be shorter? What do you think they should have taken?
Well, it was, it gets a little slow at points.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of wish they sped it up a little bit. But like for the most part, it's like much more of like a sci-fi in my mind than like
Well, what was that job that they were doing? Like they were just.
they had to kill that dad.
No,
so that way.
I'm sorry. The job that the fiance guy was doing, like, what was his job? Like, they were
Oh,
just looking
yeah.
at windows and shit.
Oh, they were monitoring webcams or
Right.
something.
But then, yeah, because then, like, well, then you see that was very scary. Well, you seen a wrecked wiener in the movie, so that's fine. Think it was real or fake? It was probably real, right?
No, it was
I'm sure
real.
It was real. Danny's an expert.
I have one.
And then
Right now.
and then that scene with the where he takes over her mind. See, because that's what I was waiting. That's what I thought the premise of the film was.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was this. It is the premise of the film, but it's not really the focus of it. Where this guy, who's possessed by this person who's supposed to assassinate, takes over and they have a battle for it.
Right.
Which is a gorgeous scene. It's a beautiful scene, which reminded me of Under the Skin for some reason.
Ooh.
I think this director takes from a lot of other films, but I don't want to take that away from him because that's an absolutely beautiful sequence with the lady's face turning into like mud or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Oh, when they
And
go,
he takes
that's
over.
like towards the end you're talking
Like
about,
melting
right?
in and out.
Right, yeah, and then when he takes over and he puts her mask on and he's living her life because he's in her brain. Like, I thought that was going to be the majority of the film, but it's not. And so I was like, so it sort of let me down. And
It kind of had, do you ever see Altered States?
I know the name. Oh, that's the movie from the 80s or the 70s?
It's like the 70s or something. It's like, there's a very classic scene. They actually make fun of it in South Park too, where like
boy.
Cartman's like puking out all his evil, and now he's like a good boy or whatever. Anyway, like it kind of had that vibe in that scene a little bit.
Yeah, I think visually this is like, because the film is low grade but looks very expensive, even though I'm sure it wasn't like a super expensive film to make. I think it's a gorgeous looking film, and I think it's edited well. I think it's directed well.
I really like the idea of it too. I mean, I guess
think
the
I like
idea's
the
been
idea
done,
more
but like
than the way
it's
it's made. But it's still not like a negative review from me. But I still think it's like very much worth a watch. And I don't want to like disregard a film just because it has a negative.
Which,
ending.
if you could be possessed by her and have to kill one,
Why do you have to make me edit the episodes? Why?
I didn't say
Why
anything.
do I have to edit the episodes because of your chicanery? Why? What's that? 23 minutes in? Lord Almighty. Anyway, so any final thoughts on this film, Thea?
The way like you talked about the company and what they do, like I kind of wish we'd seen a little bit more of what the company did. Like that was kind of an
You
interesting.
did with the webcam one?
I
Yeah,
think
like
they
it
just
was.
didn't have the budget for it.
It was an interesting thing. Yeah, that could be it too. Like that they didn't explore as much. But I really loved the look of everything. I really liked the look of the equipment they sort of used to put her under. Also, was very cool. Just like the production design of it was very cool.
It looked like he was looking at the drapes in the room.
They were,
or something.
yes.
Yeah, it was a little-
Yes.
yeah. So I didn't understand.
But like all the
I
tech
think
looked
that-
really like I liked the sort of retro-y look of it.
Yeah. It's an interesting film, and I don't want to like negate a film just because it has a downer ending. There's plenty of films have bad, disturbing endings at work.
But was it
But at least
earned?
when I'm-
Was the thing. Like, did it feel earned?
Yeah, because I didn't really give a shit about any of the characters for that super downer ending. Like, if I really... Because the main guy, and it's nothing against the actor, it's just that he was, like, more of a blank slate than anything, because we pick up with him, like, 45 minutes into the film or something.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was kind of bored by the middle part a
think so
little bit,
too,
because
yeah.
I just...
Because, you know, you just see his job, and, like, I was more interested in Sean Bean, if anything.
Yeah, because at least
You know, you come in knowing Sean
he
Bean.
had character traits. He was an asshole.
That grotesque, yeah, he was good. That grotesque, like, assassination scene was great.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's like, you know, I was expecting the guy to just start going on a killing spree, and I was like, and it was weird because I was very conflicted because I wanted to, like, I was almost rooting for him to go take out her family.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, because those two people, you just wanted to see this woman's life get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's definitely a scumbag.
And I don't know what that says about me moral-wise, because I know these characters aren't for real, but, like, the fact that she does it herself snatches away that, you know, that satisfaction, and I think that was the point of that, thinking about it now.
Right.
That I think that they're setting it up for you to want him to destroy her life like she's destroyed his.
Yeah.
But the fact that she does it on her own violation, is that the right word?
Like her own volition.
Whatever the fuck it is. I it's very hot out here. That
you're getting this English thing. You're doing it.
I tried to say,
Oh,
and then I was like,
he's allowed to do this, guys. He is.
Hispanic accent.
Yeah.
He's allowed to do
Don't
this
get
the same
offended
way I
with
can
me.
make fun of
I'm not.
Jews.
Anyway, so yeah, I think that might have been it, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm giving too much credit to the filmmaking or what, but at least it gives you, you know, room to think about
Yeah.
it. So it's not a total loss of a film. Any final thoughts, Danny?
I do not have a lot of the critiques that you have. I was very happy and enjoyed it for the most part, and I don't know. I wish maybe that guy was a little more developed, like Thea said. Like, and yeah, I'm very curious what the hell did
In the
what was his
package?
job?
Oh, right. I think that's like I think they were a company that, like, looked at the shit around the house and then sent them, like, spam
Ads?
or something. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm guessing.
I think it was
must have done a lot during
literally
this film.
like a data mining company. So like I think Danny was right. They're
That's
looking through
probably it.
everybody's webcams.
I
And
mean,
going,
there was a-
what do
there
they
was a
buy?
leak.
What do
Did
they
they
have in
explain
their
it all?
house?
There was an
Did they explain it
FBI
all?
leak.
Not
Apparently Samsung, even when the TVs are off,
Yes.
are taking in,
Information.
which is like so freaky.
Yeah.
Does your government protect you against that?
I thought,
They pretend to, maybe.
Because our government's like, no, we don't care about your freedom.
it's not as sophisticated in Canada though, because like sometimes you just sit down and goes, "Hey, what are you doing there?" And you're like, "What the?
Yeah.
What the?" That was very racist
Yeah.
against Canadians. I apologize.
do
Racist, like
that?
we're a race.
I am so sorry. For
Canadians are a race. Their blood is
Anyway.
maple syrup.
They're racing to the apocalypse, just like the U.S.
That's right.
Anyway, so in our best Valley Girl accents.
Oh,
and
God.
and
Oh yeah. What's the
at
sentence? What's the
No,
sentence we
we'll
could say?
rate the film in our Valley Girl
Oh,
accents,
God.
and then at the end we'll let the viewers.
I don't know if I could do it good, but okay,
You can
let's
do it,
try.
you can do it.
Thea. So with Thea, what is your rating for Possessor 2020?
Okay, so my like rating is like totally like 6.5 out of 10. Watching porno and then cataloging shades and blinds.
Good. That's good. That was originally mine, but I guess I'm fucked. All right, Danny, what's your rating for Possessor 2020?
Hold on, I gotta do a little test run.
You fucked it up
My
already.
rating is 8 out of 10. Stabbing a stick into your father-in-law's eyes and popping them out, and then he's somehow fine, like a day later.
You guys are so good. You took both my ideas out of this rating. I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. Totally taking over your father's business as he sits in a wheelchair and you're just like living it up. What was that, guys? Thea, what's the final word?
It's blink.
Danny, what's the final word?
Gondor.
HorrorDeconstruction.